pub was built 1640, so it had this like brick tunnel, which goes back hundreds of years, and it apparently goes through to the crypt of the church next door, but it's been blocked up. And that's where the brewery started, in this little tight space.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Beer Rep Chats With. And today I am delighted to be joined by Andy and Andrew from Abyss Brewing. Andy, Andrew, thanks for joining the show.
Hello. Thank you for inviting us.
Oh, it's great to have you guys on. Could you just quickly get a brief overview of what you guys do and your roles in the business?
Do you want to go first?
Well, we're business partners. We started the brewery together back in late 2016, early 2017. Yeah. So
Andrew brewed every beer for the first sort of 4 years, and I delivered and sold every beer, to put it simply.
Awesome. Yeah. Perfect partnership.
Andrew's the talent. And,
Well, there's talent in making it, maybe brewing it, but there's also talent in selling as well. So, we complemented each other.
Oh,
yeah.
It's good to see. You definitely can't have one without the other. That's for sure. You need someone to have a strong sales background, and then obviously, great beer doesn't sell itself, like you said, Andrew. So yeah. So let's start at the beginning. How you personally fell in love with brewing, and why did you decide to start Abyss?
Oh, how far back do you want to go? We both have always loved beer, and we both were, friends before business partners, and we both liked drinking kind of hoppy beers in the late noughties, I guess. Things like Thornbury's Jaipur, really kind of resonated with us, and Hophead as well. And yeah, even dare I say it, Punk IPA. So that's probably not the thing to say nowadays.
Brewdog big on the old news at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. But back then it was a kind of different time, different thing. Also visited America, went to New York to visit my brother, and had Brooklyn Ale, that cold draft, fizzy kind of ale, which I hadn't really experienced before back in the late 90s. So that was another big inspiration, really, for beer. Taking us away from kind of classic real ale styles you get in the UK, which we loved, or Belgian styles, or even lager. So yeah, those are like differentiating kind of experiences, I guess, which formed the love of beer.
Yeah. Then a slight context, especially for Andrew, was Andrew's had the Pelham Arms pub in Lewes for 16, 17 years.
Yeah, it's 2008. Yeah.
And that's a Hornwood House pub, Badger beer. And as a brewery, they weren't really keeping up. So you were kind of struggling with their offer that they were giving you, because it was a managed house. So you were a bit like, give me some hoppy beer, guys.
Early kind of 2011, 2013, 14, around that period of time, you got to see more kind of craft options happening in the UK, didn't you? That was kind of like the acceleration point. Them as a traditional brewer, they're brewing great kind of Dorset ales, and then they had like a kind of Heineken range kind of lager offer, but there was nothing in between. So it took a while for them to jump on board that, which they have now, which is great. But I think that ignited my kind of DIY approach to things, and thought, right, I'm going to do this myself then, and started learning how to brew and taught myself how to brew at home. So I started off home brewing, really, with probably the intention of starting a brewery someday. Yeah.
So we'd 100 pints a week in the cellar of the Pelham Arms, which is an old 16th century coach house. Tiny little room, little pots laid out, and 2 kegs a week. And to their credit, the brewery would let us serve the beer upstairs, which was the only independent tap in their whole estate of like 200 pubs. So that was the start of the Abyss, was under the pub in Lewes in the darkness.
Yeah, a little. The pub was built 1640, so it had this like brick tunnel, which goes back hundreds of years, and it apparently goes through to the crypt of the church next door, but it's been blocked up. And that's where the brewery started, in this little tight space. And bought a 100-litre brew kit and put that in there, and started brewing, kind of practicing, and then we were registered as a brewer, end of 2016. So we started serving 2017 upstairs in the pub. Yeah.
Awesome. That's a great story. There's not many.
Yeah. So
there's not many managed houses, is there, that would allow that to happen?
No.
So you guys got really lucky there, and yeah, what a great little place as well to do start your brewing and stuff like that. Did you have like brewing clubs that you went to, like home brewing clubs?
Not really. No, I didn't really get involved with the club kind of thing. No, just kind of
You did
shared. I did a couple of courses. Yeah, like a microbrewery course. But I was kind of just bottling the beer mostly and giving it out to the dads on the school run. I kind of became most popular dad pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And trying to get feedback, but everyone was just loving getting free beer, so it wasn't really that helped.
Home brewers always have plenty of friends. I always noticed that. They always want to come around and drink your free beer. So when was what were the biggest growing pains during the transition of starting going from 100-litre kit moving on to your big kit?
We jumped for a few years to a small brewery in a unit, a couple of miles outside Lewes. And that started off as like 400 litres. So we jumped to 400 litres and then to 1,200 litres quite quickly and got proper fermenters. That was probably about 2018, where we could actually, had unitanks and could brew and carbonate in tank. So that was quite big kind of growth in terms of equipment for us then, and that we kind of self-funded really. It was pretty hard, wasn't it? It was like...
Yeah, I'd say probably the biggest thing in my head was just the mental, the leap of like, oh, we're doing this now.
Yeah.
This is a separate standalone industrial unit,
Yeah.
And, you don't take that on unless you starting to get a bit more serious. So.
Yeah, you get rent, electricity, all that kind of stuff.
So it's just a nice moment, and it worked well. And then we had that up until lockdown kicked in, and
COVID was a big change, wasn't it?
Yeah, and kind of made us in many ways, because we did some canning at Missing Link, our friend Jeremy and Chillingly, and he sort of helped us out at the start. And then we got the canners in, mobile canners, who were friends. So we started canning properly for the first time, which was cool. And then the other thing was we'd sell beer at the back of the Pelham Arms to people in Lewes sort of 3 times a week. And this massive queue started forming every time we opened. And then because you'd put in the beer in people's hands, you're having a chat, and it's like, it was amazing because everyone knew the beers we're making. They all like, oh, we love Dank Marvin IPA. I love Tropical Thunder. Oh, Super Pale's the best. It's like you all know our beers, and we hadn't really met them properly as such before. So it kind of was quite a galvanizing moment. And then, I was like delivering all around sort of East Sussex as well. So you're like on the doorstep with everyone like a weird milkman, It used to be called the Naughty Milkman on my run. And it kind of gave us the confidence to open the bigger brewery and tap now in Lewes, which is on the other side of the river. Much bigger affair, has a 12-tap bar, big yard, food truck. So we started building that at the end of lockdown, basically after meeting all of our customers and doing a crowdfunder reward sort of campaign.
Yeah, we signed the lease for the malt house in October 2020, just before we went into the second lockdown. So it was quite a big leap of faith, wasn't it? And it was done on the back of like the real good vibe we got from local following during the COVID period.
It was like the ultimate market research, COVID, for us. Just meeting your disciples, and they're like, yeah, this beer's great. And you're like, oh, great, we'll make some more. Great.
Yeah, it gives you the confidence to know that moving forward is a bit of a positive, because you got customers are really enjoying your beers. So you wasn't canning your beers prior to COVID? It was during COVID that you started canning your beer?
Yeah.
I think a lot of breweries did that who started around about the same time. I think Attic were ones that didn't can beers until COVID hit, and they started canning their beers to sell to get through the period. So as well as COVID did bring a lot of challenges, it also helped breweries to move forward, because they had to, even if they weren't ready. I.e., with canning.
To do the retail direct sales straight away, rather than before then it was trying to sell to pubs and bars. which is one thing. I mean, we're still, great at that. I mean, sell a lot of keg beer now. Most of our beer is keg beer, but going retail was like, and seeing that sort of profit margin difference, and knowing we had to do retail really well when we opened the tap room, which is what I feel we have done with the Lewes tap, was like really, really important. And that was probably COVID, which kind of really focused that idea.
Awesome. So your beers, they're quite bold and modern. I've had the pleasure of tasting some of the beers. Thank you very much. Beautiful. How would you describe your identity to someone who's discovering you for the first time?
Kind of modern beers with big personalities. We've never kind of scrimped on the ingredients. We've always liked the idea of, kind of beers you can really get your mouth around and really enjoy. So like Super Fuzz is an IPA we've been making for a long time now. It's kind of a little bit gnarly, and it's got nice hop, little nice hop character to it. None of our beers are kind of filtered out and smoothed off. There's lots of personality to them. Dank Marvin IPA is another one. Tropical Thunder, that's one from the old days. Under the Pelham, one of the original IPAs. It used to be made with Sriracha Ace, and now it's got a bit of Sabro in it. An example of something that's a little bit out there, but people are really behind that beer. They love it when we bring it back out again. I think they're all pretty tasty, really, to put it in a very simple way. Yeah.
They're always adding to. They're always kind of evolving as well, because we brew kind of one-off pale ales, IPAs, on a very regular basis, and we learn. We're always trying to push those more. So we've always had a core range, really, haven't we? Super pale, like Super Fuzz, Dank Marvin, Gonzo, and we don't sort of stand still with those. Where they're always putting stuff we've learned from brewing the one-off kind of specials into the core range, so they kind of evolve over time. Yeah. Perfect. What suppliers are you asking? Yeah.
What suppliers, that you use
for the ingredients? We use, we use Yakima Chief for most of the American hops, but we also use Brewers Select and Bath Hards as well. Yeah, and Freestyle. They're the sort of main hop suppliers.
Freestyle for the Nelson.
Yeah, we use Charles Ferrams as well for some hops and malts. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have like a kind of like a base backbone for your malt bills for most of your recipes for your IPAs and stuff like that?
Yes, we generally tweak it a little bit from brew to brew. Sometimes we use the same base. So if we're doing like a pale ale 5% DDH kind of beer, we generally we've got a base recipe like you're saying, which is kind of we're pretty pleased with, but we do try and always tweak it a little bit after tasting them. But they all evolve, but the kind of growths are more incremental now, because we're kind of pretty happy with how most of them are. I think water really is the bigger one. We've done lots of changes with the water. I mean, we've been doing changes with water for a while, but we had a RO system last year, so we've been able to do more with the water now, and we're still kind of experimenting with that as well. But that helps round them out and soften them out.
Yeah, it's surprising that on a home brewing scale, it's surprising how much water as an ingredient is overlooked, and I feel it's one of the most important ingredients. I mean, it is 95% probably of your beer, but growing a water profile for the style that you're brewing is key to getting them flavors out of your malt flavors, your hop flavors, I feel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you do home brew yourself?
Yes, I try to as much as I can. I don't really get a chance to often as much, but I do some brew experiences down at Mash Paddle on the Bermondsey Beer Mile. So I enjoy doing them. So that gives me my little home brewing kick that I need.
Yeah, when I started brewing, I started buying water straight away from the supermarket, like buying the 5 litre bottles of soft kind of Scottish water or something. And I was
Yeah.
using those, and then after I did a course, they're like, "You got to learn to use your own local water." So I did this batch with Brighton water, and it was undrinkable. And I realised then, like, you go, "Oh yeah, what'd you do?" And then you send a water sample off to Murphy's, and you get a breakdown, and then you start learning how to
Yeah,
do that.
definitely.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a really big part of it. And
We've
you get
got
into spreadsheets with it, and it gets quite serious, doesn't it? So
there's a company that I use called Smart Water, where you can just literally turn up. It's like a unit or something, or in a middle of a car park, and you can just get RO water as
nice,
much as you want. I think
amazing.
it's like, well, it's really, really cheap, and you can get use about 50 litres or whatever for doing some home brewing, and it
And you build
completely
it up
strips
yourself.
everything out, and then you can build
Mm.
up your own recipe, water profile, and tweak it, etc., or even copy people's water profiles if you're
Yeah,
confident that they're good.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot easier to get good water than it used to be. Like you said, you used to go down the supermarket and get bottled water. Like, you don't really need to do that now. If you've got smart water close to you, there's not many around. But I'm sure if you get a car, if you've got a car, then quickly run down there and fill up your tanks with RO water.
That's a good idea.
So who else is using that? Is that like window cleaners using that as well? Because
Yeah. So a lot of cleaning companies will use smart water because they like to build up their own cleaning chemicals from scratch. So yeah, I think it started off from that, but I think home brewers are starting to clock onto it and go, smart water is cheap, it's good. And I hope they don't go bust or anything like that, because otherwise I have to go to the supermarkets and get bottled water.
It's a good catchy name to charge more as well. I like it.
Yeah, it could be, but hopefully they don't, because it's quite cheap at the moment. So keep the prices down if you're listening. So collaboration's a big part also of what you do. I really enjoyed your recent collaboration with Rivington that I managed to try, and it was beautiful.
Hey.
Yeah, lovely. What do collaborations give you creativity, like brewing alone doesn't? Do you get to learn from other brewers and obviously equipment as well, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I mean, we're all quite small breweries, really, aren't we? And we're all learning in our own ways by, mostly by trial and error and seeing what works for us. And then when you have a collab and you just start talking about processes and ingredients and where you buy things from and how you do things, you kind of learn off each other, and it's about sharing information. I think that's that. So from the creative point of view,
and having a good lunch.
Yeah, we like to have a good lunch.
A nice boozy lunch.
I can imagine that every brewery is rated on how good their lunch is that they give you.
Yeah, we do okay. I'm confident we'd do okay in the league table.
Is there a league table? Is there actually a league table of best lunches?
There is a.
What's your favourite thing to do at the moment, Andy?
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, there's a bit of a classic. No one's ever cooked for us before. We get given pizza. It's like, come on, it's too easy.
Yeah, even a stew. Come on.
Yeah,
nice stew.
We pride ourselves on getting the barbecue out.
Lovely.
And we have a very good Brazilian supermarket near us that does a very high quality sausage. So that's all I'm saying. But
get on the subjects of sausages. Yeah, that sounds great. I definitely think you've got to have a good lunch if you're going to go and travel to wherever you're going to go for a collaboration. Got to put on a good lunch. Takeaway pizza. Takeaway pizza just is the least you can do, isn't it? Really, I suppose.
I think so.
We were doing a collab with Burnt Mill a couple of weeks ago, and they put on a great spread. Loads of great local cheeses from the farmer shop, and nice meats and sourdough bread, and kind of farm shop style pickles. That kind of thing.
Yeah,
goes well with drinking.
Yeah. Soak up, especially the sourdough bread. Soak up the alcohol. So, when you're creating a new beer, when you're brewing, where does the process usually begin? Does it begin with ingredients or style inspiration, or where do you normally start from?
Well, production schedule is kind of dictating. So, what do we need, and then then there might be some hops say we want to try that we've heard about, or we might have ordered and we might want to use them. So a little bit of that, and then
we share a lot of information together as a team as well. You know, we're all kind of like scrolling what other brewers in America and other places in the world are doing on Instagram and whatnot. And we have a group and we share ideas and share pictures of beers and hop combinations and, you know, what things look like in the glass and the vibe generally. So we're kind of always orchestrating this kind of rich kind of vein of inspiration, I think. Yeah. Listen to a lot of the American podcasts as well, see what's happening out there. Because they seem to be a little bit ahead of the curve normally. I think we're probably catching them up, but it's interesting hearing what other people are doing in other places, you know, what's inspiring other brewers. And so take inspiration from all sorts of places, really. And just in the collabs, hearing what other people have been thinking about brewing and doing as well. So
yeah. I see one thing recently, Garage Project, they were talking about using spent hops. What to do with them. That seemed like an interesting idea, especially for wastage. Like you obviously, especially when you're brewing like a beer that's really heavily dry hopped and all that spent hops that you've got to just throw away. Why not use it again and make a less hoppier beer with them?
I was chatting to someone, I can't remember who it was now, who's doing the same thing. But yeah, using them for like a kind of a lighter pale ale.
Yeah, interesting. What's been like the thing that you've recently heard from America that's kind of got you excited to try and give it a go?
Dark Mexican lagers, I think.
Dark Mexican lagers.
Yeah, I remember when I was really young, I worked in a off-license, this is going back some way, and they had an imported Mexican lager called Dos Equis, I think. Dos Equis?
Yeah.
Which was like a
3X,
dark, Mexican lager. And I've been listening to quite a few lager podcasts recently from US craft breweries, and that seems to be a recurring theme, how to make lager dark, but have it, you know, not too spiky, bitter from the maltiness. I find that kind of thing quite interesting at the moment. Yeah. And then
we've brewed a black lager last few years, haven't we? It's been really popular. So
German style one,
refining that kind of
getting that real smooth, and we've all enjoyed that one. But learning, there's a lot of talk and use, and we've been doing this ourselves, of like flowable products now as well, and how to use those and whereabouts in the process to use those. So that's a real interesting thing for us, like really locking in flavor and aroma into the beer, you know, and having it longevity in packaging. So that's a real interesting kind of area, I think, at the moment.
Would you say then your taste and your brewing philosophy have changed since your 2016 days?
Seems like a long time ago, that.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, 10 years.
I think when I started, I wanted to brew every single beer different, you know. I think that was kind of probably lots of people's idea as well, but we quickly started looking at more core beers because, you know, you have to better sell it all the time. So with that, I love the idea of making our core beers as good as possible now, and that's a real good focus. But I think we're drinking other beers, not just hoppy, hazy stuff, you know. Hoppy, hazy beer is still largely what seems to sell the most in the craft sector in the UK, but we're all quite inspired by other styles as well. So exploring those is good now. Yeah,
I'd say definitely just what Andrew's been saying, really, like the big difference between the early days and now would be, especially with you've got a team and a bigger kit, it's just the science and really enjoying those kind of minor percentages of gain you can make, and then, you know, and how satisfying that is to make a really, really high quality product. And like, you know, the fact that you're speaking to us now is proof of products to some extent that, you know, you think our beers are good, so that's great, and, you know, we do. So, but that hasn't been easy, you know, making them that good. It's been a constant kind of challenge,
learning curve.
A great challenge, and we utterly enjoy it. But the science, I guess, is the big thing behind it all. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, technology has come along long way. And, and hops, different hops that are coming out, different flavors, different tastes, different styles. Do you think that hazy IPAs are kind of coming towards the end of their boom? I'm a big hazy IPA fan. I'm starting to get more into a lot more different styles than I used to. I mean, I always liked other styles, but I'm starting to kind of drift away from hazy IPAs and going into different, especially more like lager styles and dark, like Schwartz beers and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that every festival you go to, all the brewers just drink lagers kind of for the last few years.
Says it all.
It's a bit of a giveaway of where the curve might be heading. But yeah, I don't think they'll ever die. But I mean, maybe just there's a broader spread of styles that, craft beer drinkers will enjoy. But there'll still be beautiful hazy IPAs forevermore, I believe. But,
of course, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not won't be quite the haze fest it was maybe, but it's not a bad thing. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like double IPAs were quite a big thing, wasn't it, at one point, especially during the COVID era. But they're kind of dropping off a bit. I don't see many double IPAs as they used to. So we're going to go on to a bit about the challenges that you guys have faced since opening. Obviously, COVID was one of them, but as a independent brewery, what's realistically the toughest part of competing in today's UK beer market?
Competing, probably the biggest challenge for us has been not having enough beer, really.
Drinking or brewing?
No, we're always pretty good at getting higher on our own supply. We're good at that. Yeah. Up until we put the new kit in last year, which we funded by doing an equity raise a year earlier, but we were still turning away a lot of orders last summer. And essentially, when you're doing that, you're letting down customers who have maybe emailed in a very positive frame of mind. Oh, I'd like to order this Abyss beer, and when you can't fulfill that, it's frustrating for them and for us. So, we're still, basically this summer is a bit of a new dawn for us. We've reached a bit of a new plateau where we can kind of supply more people and keep up the supply as well. So it can be quite detrimental, if you can't keep up with demand a bit. But
it's a fine line, isn't it? It's about knowing when to upscale production to meet demand, and when you get there, has it been worth upscaling to, are you seeing a positive return from it?
Yeah. And there's people who want to sell out all the time, and that's it. And maybe that's a cool thing to do. I don't know. I think we like to sort of spread the kind of styles we do. So we like to have some, our Super Pale is a sort of big session beer. It's gluten free, 4.4 hazy pale, and it just kind of took off really, especially locally. So that kind of chugs away, and that wasn't the planning thing necessarily, but it kind of got wings. And then on top of that, we like to do 2 or 3 new beers a month. That's probably the biggest challenge. I mean, there's always cash burning away, but that's just being a bit careful, isn't it?
That's business, yeah.
Yeah, it's boring. The beer, if they make good beer, make better beer, it all kind of comes together generally, I think.
Yeah, when you as a business, when you grow and you start selling more, the cash lag is quite hard as a brewery, because you have to, you don't get great terms from suppliers generally, and then you have to keep the beer, 4 weeks maybe, fermentation, packaging, sell it. Then you have to wait to get paid, and then in that time, you generally got to pay all the beer duty and pay all the, maybe there's been a VAT return. So the cash journey has always been hard as we've been growing. Through speed, being funded.
I would say as well, though, our tap room is it's a good tap room, and proud of it, and it's busy in the summer, and we have another site now at New Haven, which is busy as well, and they're really fun because you're meeting your customers direct, they're really enjoying your beer, having a great time, and that's a great feeling because it's a real reminder of why you do it, and it's also like, you can't put duff beers out when you're handing them over the bar yourself. So that's really healthy, but it's also good for the business, and keeps you chugging along nicely. So yeah,
So the retail aspect has been like super important for us for that reason, because it's like, it's good margin, and it, the money drops in the account on the Monday after the weekends.
Yeah. To touch on what Andy just said about, having that tap room and being able to talk to your customers. I mean, I personally think community for independent breweries is their biggest selling point. Having that community spirit with your customers. Do you think that if you was anyone in starting a brewery or thinking about starting a brewery, would you say a tap room and having customers drinking inside the brewery or just outside is key to growing a business like an independent brewery like yourselves?
I'd say 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's undoubtedly what sets you apart, isn't it? Because no one else can do that. A big brewery can't do that. They can imitate, but they can't do it. And yeah, we know we have which Andrew kind of runs. We have a cycle club. We have twerking classes on a Saturday morning with Nozzy, our neighbour. We do craft events in the tap room. We have a quiz night, and they're all really popular. And again, garner that sense of community. The sort of the broader world outside the brewery just feels good. Yeah. I guess if you're an introvert brewer, maybe you just want to brew your beer and be in a cave all day and just do that. But we're a bit more kind of different people. I don't know. Yeah. Whatever suits, I guess. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I think a tap room is essential for any brewery that's independent. Do you think, like, going off your tap room and your customers and what kind of drinks they're having? Do you think they're becoming more adventurous in the different beers that they're drinking these days?
I'd say definitely the tap room, yeah. Like the black lagers, if we ever put, different sours we have, always really, really well received. People love drinking sours in the tap room, which is great. Yeah. So definitely all groups try the sours. We have skate flights in the tap room. So we have these sort of recycled skateboards, which were all used in Lewes. And they have 5 holes drilled out for little third glasses. So you can get a selection of 5 different beers, and they're really, really popular. So there's a definite sense of people wanting to try the beers. They know they're in a tap room, and you can see the tanks, and they want to get involved with that, which is really great. And obviously, you can't do that anywhere else. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of new breweries are starting up. I'm starting to see a lot more independent breweries opening. Obviously, a lot of them are closing. What excites you most about the current wave of new independent breweries that are coming onto the scene?
I think it's a very collaborative industry. I think it's always great to see something with passion, created with passion, which is what we pride ourselves on. Personally, I probably historically have been in more bars where I'm delivering beer or met our customers more, because that's kind of my role. And I never mind seeing a new beer on if it's a great beer. I'm just a sort of beer fan at heart myself. If I'm excited to see it, then great. I'd much prefer to see a newer young brewery on than say a Neckel, or a macro beer. So I don't know. Just good beer is great beer, isn't it? We should all celebrate that, and that's where we came from. So people have really backed us. So yeah.
Yeah, it's great. What's next for Abyss then? Got any new collaborations coming up? Any big growth changes? Anything that's going to take you a bit further up than you are already?
Well, we're definitely doing a bit more. Not really exported, so we're doing like a festival in Belgium this year, and then we get asked to do more and more festivals in the UK, which is nice. So there's more of that, and then we've got.
We're doing Hop City for the first time in May, aren't we?
Hop City, May, Leeds, yeah.
What else we got?
That'd be
Siren.
great. Siren next month, yeah. Sure, next month, Manchester, doing a brew. We did a brew with Maki at ours last month, which when we talk about doing collabs, we spent most of that day actually just geeking out talking about pizza because
and drinking beer.
Well, Mark has his own kind of pizza place alongside the brewery in Portsmouth, and we make pizza at our New Haven site. So there was a lot of pizza chat that day.
Lots of pizza chat. More than beer, maybe.
Yeah.
No cheese and meats this time, then.
No, and then we're always looking at potential other sites. So maybe another Abyss retail site. Hopefully, yeah, that'd be fun.
Awesome, that sounds good. Is there like a beer style that you guys are wanting to take on that you haven't tried yet?
The next new one I can remember in the.
What do you think it is?
Is it dark Cascadian ale, no less?
Oh,
yeah,
that's different.
Yeah,
I've not seen many of them around.
No, we've been talking about black IPAs. Then we thought, no, we can get more refined on this.
Yeah,
we can geek out more.
Yeah. For me, we had a trip to Antwerp end of last year, and it was actually my first time to Belgium. So
outrageous.
As
a brewer, that's quite outrageous. And yeah, something.
The only time I've been to Belgium was the duty free. That's about it, really. Look, went straight to the supermarket, get some tobacco, and
we did get to Billy's, which was good. Billy's Beer Fest, which I'd
amazing.
We'd highly recommend. Yeah.
And Dock in Ghent was a really amazing space as well. So yeah, something with Belgian vibe would be good. We've done that a little bit of that before, but
like a Belgian beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. And we're going to end up on this. If someone hasn't tried Abyss before, and I'm sure there's not many around, especially where you're from in Lewes, which beer should they start with? What one are you most proud of?
Andrew the brewer, please.
I'd say Dank Marvin. Yeah.
Dank Marvin. What a name. That's a brilliant name.
That'll give you a really good feel for like it's one of our original IPAs, and it's one which has just been like evolving and getting better and better over time. Yeah. I mean, that's as a starting point. That's a good starting point for sure.
5.8%. Which hops, Andrea?
Which hops? Citra, Simcoe, Chinook.
Very good.
Thought I wouldn't know.
Very good. Well done.
It's good on the spot. In the spot. If you'd got it wrong, we'd have had to edit it, and then you behind the scenes, right? Tell him what the hops were, and then that's what they were. Who comes up with the names of the beers? Always curious about that.
We have a WhatsApp group. It's quite furious sometimes.
Yeah, it gets a bit brutal, but I mean, our branding is very psychedelic, so we kind of lean into the sense of the other and a sort of slightly psyche vibe, so that helps. If you got a bit of a strong brand aesthetic, I guess. So it's me and Andrew and Jill, who's our sort of creative designer in chief, who does all of our branding, and she wades in.
They have to fit with the Abyss, so they have to resonate with the Abyss.
Yeah.
So, what's been the probably the one of the most outrageous names that you've been given on the WhatsApp group that you've not used, maybe, that was a bit crazy, but nearly
not used.
Not used, but sure. nearly that was close, very close to making it, but didn't.
This reminds me of
it's probably 98% of the names we come up with, to be honest.
Yeah, it was a big spreadsheet. The one that jumps out is a collab with the first brew we did with Rivington, and there's a particular story attached that Ben from Rivy and Ben, our brewer, had both were both aware of a certain gentleman in, is it Sydney or
maybe
or Melbourne? He had a particular habit, which is a very kind of what can we say? A very niche adult habit, and the beer was called From the Trough, and that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
But there might be enough to Google there, but I'm not going to say any of it anymore. That's it. But it was. Okay. But the fact that both of them knew, but this guy was very, very funny at that time of night on the farm. Sorry, it's been a bit cagey, but yeah.
If you want to know more, then Google away.
Yeah, at your peril. At your peril.
At your peril. Yeah. It might be something you want to see. It might not be. It's
absolutely.
It's a stab in the dark.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you guys want to say to everyone who's listening back at home or in their car or whatever, wherever they are?
Well, yeah, thanks for listening, for starters. It's nice to talk about the Abyss, and our beers are available online, and we'll hopefully see you at a festival soon around the country. Any questions, don't be afraid to ask, email in, or
give us a follow on Instagram at Abyss Brewing for updates and new stuff coming out. That's where you get all the new information.
Yeah.
Web shops fully stocked, ready to.
Don't be afraid to reach out.
Yeah.
All the links for all your socials and your website will be.
Always up for doing
description.
Events. Yeah, if someone's got a bottle shop they want to do an event or something, we always like to travel. So yeah,
definitely bear you guys in mind. That's for sure. Well, thanks for appearing on the show. Thank you for your time, taking you away from brewing and your hectic schedule that you guys must have. Thanks for coming on.
Pleasure.
Great, thank you.
Great to meet you.
Thanks for inviting us.
Oh, it was great to meet you guys too as well, and hopefully I'll see you around at some point wherever you guys are traveling to.
Great, thank you. Nice one.
No worries. So that's it for us for this week, and we'll see you back in another couple of weeks. So until then, catch you later. Bye bye.